Truth for Jehovah's Witnesses, the true nature of God. What you have been told about God contains some truths. You have been told that God is not a Trinity. This is true. God is one. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim is one Yahweh. Deuteronomy 6:4. So Jesus said to him, "Why do you call me good? No one is good but one, that is God." Mark 10:18. However, when it comes to the actual nature of God, the things you have been taught are false. You have been told to take descriptions of God's form and shape as figurative, which leads you to take the literal figuratively and the figurative literally. For example, you believe that Satan was literally cast out of heaven in 1914. However, the book of Revelation itself declares that it is a symbolic or figurative book. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave him to show his servants things which must shortly take place, and he sent and signified it by his angel to his servant John. Revelation 1, verse 1, NKJV. This means that the events described in Revelation are symbolic. In Revelation 12, a great dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns is said to be cast out of heaven. You take this event literally, even though the dragon itself is clearly symbolic. Being cast out of heaven does not mean a literal fall from the sky, but rather a loss of authority or favor with God. This is demonstrated in Lamentations 2:1. How the Lord has covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger. He cast down from heaven to the earth the beauty of Israel and did not remember his footstool in the day of his anger. Lamentations 2 verse 1, NKJV. Here Israel is said to be cast down from heaven, but this clearly refers to the destruction of the temple by the Babylonians and the loss of its divine favor and authority, not a literal fall from the sky. Likewise, the dragon in Revelation 12 represents an empire, as can be understood by comparing it with the 4th beast in Daniel 7. So, while you take figurative descriptions literally, you take literal descriptions figuratively. God is corporeal. The Bible explicitly states that humanity was made in the likeness of God. If this is figurative, then these verses would be meaningless. But no man can tame the tongue. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. With it we bless our God and Father, and with it we curse men who have been made in the similitude of God. James 3:8-9, NKJV. If humans were not actually made in the similitude of God, this verse would make no sense. Furthermore, and Adam lived 130 years, and begot a son in his own likeness, after his image, and named him Seth. Genesis 5:3. If a son can be the exact representation of his father, then humanity being in the image of God must also be literal. This is the book of the genealogy of Adam. In the day that God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Genesis 1:26, NKJV. These verses prove that man was created in God's physical form. Even the angels are made in the form of God. What is man that you are mindful of him, or the son of man that you care for him? You made him a little lower than the angels. You crowned him with glory and honor. You made him ruler of the works of your hands. You have placed everything under his feet. Psalm 8:4-8, NKJV. In Psalm 8:4, the word translated angels is the Hebrew word Elohim. The word Elohim in Hebrew refers to a group of mighty ones. This means that when Genesis 1:26 says, "Let us make man in our image," the us refers to the Elohim, the mighty ones, or the angels. The Logos, the only begotten Son, created the universe, but did not work alone. The Elohim, acting as divine agents of God's will, assisted in the completion of creation, as seen in, "For I also am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this one, 'Go,' and he goes, and to another, 'Come,' and he comes, and to my servant, 'Do this,' and he does it." Matthew 8, NKJV. "For I also am a man placed under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to one, 'Go,' and he goes, and to another, 'Come,' and he comes, and to my servant, 'Do this,' and he does it." Luke 7:8. It is illogical to conclude that the Logos created the entire universe by himself without the help of the Elohim. Humanity reflects God's corporeal nature. The Bible makes it clear that man is the image and glory of God. A man ought not to cover his head. since he is the image and glory of God, but the woman is the glory of man. 1 Corinthians 11:7. This verse distinguishes between man and woman, affirming that man directly reflects the image of God. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of God he made man. Genesis 9:6, NKJV. This verse would be meaningless if God had no physical image. Summary: God is corporeal. Man was created in his image and likeness. The Son is the exact representation of the Father, Hebrews 1:3. The angels, being Elohim, are also made in God's form. Man was made a little lower than the angels, but still retains the form of God. Jehovah's Witnesses have been misled into believing that God has no form, despite the Bible repeatedly affirming otherwise. It is time to return to the truth of Scripture and recognize the corporeal nature of God. The punctuation has been corrected while preserving all words and paragraphs as requested. Let me know if you need any additional refinements.
I think that'll do. There was something I could add, but